Hello, happy Easter to you. You joined me on my daily exercise. Like perhaps many of you, my daily exercise is walking round and round and round the garden. I've timed it so that if I go 30 times around the garden, it's equivalent to a 1 kilometre walk or a 1 kilometre run if I'm feeling energetic. So all of this really got me thinking. Started to make me think how often sometimes I feel, and I don't know if you feel this way, but I do sometimes, that you just feel as if you're going round and round in circles. And to start with, those circles seem small, and then we seem to get busier and busier and busier, and things get faster and faster and faster, and sometimes we just feel we can't keep up with ourselves. And it leaves us longing for something bigger, more tranquil, more peaceful. So what's all this got to do with the resurrection of Jesus? Well, if I was physically in front of you, I'd want to say to you, what does the story mean to you? And if I was in front of a congregation at the moment, I would get everyone to stop and talk to each other about what this fantastic story means to you, because it's mind-blowing, isn't it? A story of someone who's brought back from death by God himself, because he is the Son of God. It's the most significant, wonderful story in human history. But I can only tell you what I think it means and what it means for me this year. So I'm going to share that with you. I hope that's some help to you. And I hope it gives, and pray that it gives you some encouragement and hope in these really difficult times. For me, it's undeniable that physical life is in some sense a circle. There's a song, isn't there, called The Circle of Life. Is it from The Lion King? I think it is. But there's this circularity of life, and that we're born and we live and we die. That when we grow, we take nutrients into ourselves from the earth, and when we die, they get returned to the earth and they set the next generation up. That's physically what it means to be alive, of course. It seems to me that Jesus comes from God. He comes from outside of that circle, and he inspires in our lives something of the eternal life that's in him. That when we join with him, he breaks that circularity of life. He breaks the cycle of living and dying, and instead gives us a promise of eternal life. So how do we join with Jesus? How do we become a part of his resurrection? Jesus gave a pretty simple and basic promise to us, that if we asked him to come and live with us, he would never leave us, he wouldn't forsake us, he would live with us forever, and we would live with him. It seems to me that when we ask Jesus to come in and to be a part of us, Jesus brings his life that comes from outside of the circle and plants that in us. And that's the promise of Easter. That's the promise that he gave to me and to you this Easter day. The Lord is risen. He's risen indeed.